This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm down at Ilford today. I'd like to be joined for the first time in a while by Tunde Ajayi. Tunde, first and foremost, you're looking good spirits. How are you?
Come on. Mic check, P001, P002. You don't even know about P0. That's something from the roads. Boxing Social, Tunde Ajayi, Stamina for Sale. We're back. How you doing, my man?
Very good, thank you for asking. Let's start with where we're at today. We're at the Box Up Crime Gym, beautiful facility that's just been opened here in Ilford. Some fantastic work. I just want you to shed some light for everybody on the great work going on here for those that don't know, all the fantastic things they're doing for the kids in this area.
Guiding misguided dreams. You know, Stephen Addison, God bless him. You know, he's someone who used to come to the gym. This is an amazing journey for myself, personally. You know, Anthony, O'Hara Davis, Stephen Addison, you know, these young men always used to come to me, 5 o'clock, Peacock Gym, and I always used to be more preaching than training. But I always remember Steve, you know, his drive to help young people, more like myself. But he always had a focus, a destination, and look at us, look at him. More importantly, you know, Box Up Crime is now in different areas, and they're helping young men, just direct them back into education. I mean, it's easy to talk, but Steve's actually done it and doing it. And what better place for someone like Anthony Yarde and myself, who are both from environments which are not really, you know, not really good for young people, to be in a place like this where they can now touch their stars and say, yeah, I'm in the building with Anthony Yarde. I'm not so much Tunde. I'm a nobody, but they're in the building with Anthony Yarde, and I think that's great for him and great for the young kids.
When you see the work that's being done here and all over the place with the Box Up Crime Project and all the great things they're doing, do you think that combat sports and the discipline that comes with it, this is something that we should be thinking about, you know, for a national curriculum, giving all the kids in this country a chance to give themselves that discipline?
Well, I mean, we had it years back. You know, there was always community centres and places like that for young people to go. Unfortunately, the world has changed, you know, and I just feel that, you know, it's something that the government needs to be more active in. You know, this Box Up Crime could be or would be nothing without government support and government help, because the fact is that we don't have the money. You know, when we're coming from certain areas, we don't have the money to fund projects like this. So we need help. And you've seen how now, I think, I was just talking to Gareth A. Davis, and I was saying to him that I haven't really seen this. People have spoken about it, but in this particular area, I haven't really seen it, and it's great. And we need more places like this. And as you say, more combat sports should think about this. And I think it will be great for everybody.
Anthony Yarde was in the building today, a lively as always workout before the media, absolute chaos. He dropped you there for a minute, what happened?
There goes my comeback. Bro, I was looking so good, I was thinking, yeah, you're sharp, bro. You can come back and deal with these guys. Anthony just threw me to the floor like a rag doll. The strength of the man. But yeah, it's just, Anthony is Anthony. You know, Anthony's always, a lot of people don't realise, Anthony's always been like this. You know, but he's a warrior, he's a lion. He's someone that's had a rough year. 2020 has been a really testing year for Anthony. And he had to overcome that. You know, and because he's overcome it now, I think it makes him stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think that the sky is the limit for Anthony. He's having fun. What you saw today is every day for us. We do it. If you look on our social media, you will see that as well. But for me personally, it's so good to see Anthony. You know, Anthony's like my son. You know, I think I'm old enough to be his father. But he's like my son, and I treat him like that, and I care for him like that. So, boxing aside, you always want to see somebody who has this kind of heart do well. And Anthony's good. He's ready. He's ready to do the business next Saturday.
You mentioned it, Tunde. Lockdown has not been easy for Anthony Yarde. He's had a couple very personal losses. We saw him today in great spirits, enjoying life ahead of his ring return next weekend, which we'll come on to in a minute. But is that testament to the character of Anthony Yarde, how well he's dealt with this and how he's processed that torrid time he had?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you go back to Russia, straight after the fight, I was trying to be the kind of person I am, a caring person, and he's like, Unks, louder. Let me deal with this myself. He's always been like that, Andy, because that's why me and him gel so well, because I don't want no one rubbing my head telling me it's going to be, but I want to deal with it myself, and it was always that. So when I was getting calls from people, Frank, obviously concerned about him and stuff like that, I was like, Frank, he's going to come back when he's ready, because that's Anthony's character. He knows when the time's right, and luckily for him, he's got a very supportive unit. That makes it easier. Everybody's there. We're all ready. We're all ready for him. Coach Ade shouting lines in the camp. We don't get weak. We get deep. Bilal's there. We're all there. We're a family in Stamina for so, and all that contributed to Anthony's getting back to normal.
On to the fight. Next weekend, he does return to the ring against Dex Spellman, September 12th. Anthony seems in good spirits. He didn't seem to be enjoying himself watching Spellman's fight with Londonarthur. He said it was boring. Is this a seek and destroy mission next weekend then?
Was he watching it, yeah? Okay. Anthony, listen, I've never trained a fighter to go points. I just not in my makeup. It's knockout. The people in the barbershop, I've said it. The people in the barbershop don't want to see your points victory. You don't go into a barbershop and say, did you see Londonarthur or Dex Spellman's or Shakan Peters or whoever points victory last night. You say when you go into that barbershop, you say, did you see that? Oh, in my barbershop, you see that brother get knuckled with an uppercut on the left hook? That's what he says when they say that my ends. Or it will be like another one, like, fam, some points thing. Like, we don't want to watch no points. This is the street code now. So I think where Anthony's concerned, Anthony, luckily for the viewers at home and on YouTube and stuff like that, he actually thinks about or puts himself in the position of those that are watching. And you only need to look at Anthony's record to understand what he likes to do. It's knockout. He's just in the knockout. Everything else is boring. Nobody fell asleep watching Mike Tyson. When Mike was fighting, you never fell asleep. Am I lying, Huss? Nobody never fell asleep. And so the it factor with Anthony is that something's going to happen. And I don't think you got that when Deck fought Linden or Deck fought Shakan. I don't think it was actually Deck's fault, because he wanted to, that's the kind of fighter he is. He comes to give it his all.
With that said, Deck will come and have a go and he will come forward. Do you think that's an opponent that will suit Anthony's style, someone that will come towards him and let him get off his shots?
Well, Anthony likes to fight, and Anthony's a puncher. So, I don't know if it's going to suit him, but when you run into punches, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. So maybe Deck might come with something different. Maybe he might change his game plan. The main thing is that we're prepared for the best Deck Spellman. And I think watching the two fights between Peters and Arthur, I think the best Deck was when he fought Peters. That was a good fight. Up and down, seesaw. I mean, they could say it was easy, but it wasn't easy. There was a few rounds there where, Shakan was, a bit, wobbled. And because of that, I have to respect Dex Spellman. Nothing bad to say about him. He's going to give it. He didn't have to take this fight. Short notice. And yeah, I hope that everything goes well for him in terms of him being healthy after the fight.
I appreciate there's a job to do next weekend, but the last time I saw you and Anthony, we were there to promote the Londonarthur fight just before lockdown. Is it your understanding that fight is signed for October? What's the latest with regards to that?
The fight is done. We've all agreed. That's why we was at the press conference. It was all agreed. So whether it will be in the O2 is something we have to do. But again, I just don't want to focus on Londonarthur because this isn't the Londonarthur night. This is the Dex Spellman night, and we can't overlook nobody. See, Anthony's there. Yeah, we can't overlook no one. We just got to take one fight at a time. So Dex Spellman's on the radar Saturday night. Dex Spellman's on the radar Saturday night. He's on the radar for me. He's on the radar for Anthony, and it's going to be an entertaining night.
Someone I wanted to ask you about, Tunde, we had Joshua Buatsi on the channel a couple of weeks ago. He said that him and Anthony get on very well, despite the collision course they appear to be on. He said they also sort of met up about a month ago to talk about various things. Is that fight inevitable for British boxing down the line?
It's inevitable if both boys keep winning, and it's inevitable if it makes sense. Anthony Yarde, Joshua Buatsi are fighters. I'm a manager. So if you wanna say, Tunde don't wanna fight, look at him, he's ducking at the fight, well, knock yourself out. I don't really care. I don't really business. I'm doing what's best for Anthony Yarde. I've said this, go back and watch the interviews. I've said this from the very beginning. I'm doing what's best for Anthony Yarde. But we are fighters, and if it makes sense, I feel they need to do a bit more work on his PR, because Joshua's a very humble, quiet kid, and with all due respect, as I say, you could call Mike Tyson what you want, but people tune in to watch him because he was exciting. So I think you got to level the playing field a little bit more, and that will happen because he is a good fighter. But for right now, I think that what Anthony has done puts him slightly ahead in terms of, the market value.
A couple other things before I let you go, Tunde. I spoke to Bilal Ali today. He's in good spirits as well. Hasn't been able to fight in 2020 for obvious reasons. He's very excited to get back in the ring next weekend.
Yes.
How excited are you about this kid, and how much has he progressed since you've been working together?
Yeah, I mean, Bilal's trainer, Coach Ade, is my long-time friend, and I taught Ade the system, and and he's got his own gifts, his own God-given talents, and he's just a tremendous guy. And when I see him and Bilal working every day, I'm so excited, because I've known Bilal since he was 12 years old. Again, I'm really excited for Bilal because, taking a young man with 12 amateur fights to the top of the mountain is a massive achievement. But doing it with someone who had 3 amateur fights, who doesn't look like Anthony. You understand? Bilal's got one of them schoolboy looks. Like you think, yeah, all right. And then you get a left hook, right hand, lead left hook again in your head. So for Bilal and for myself, I want to see Bilal continue his journey to success. He will do it. He's a hard worker and he wants it.
Been a lot of movement in the heavyweight division the last couple of weeks. Let's start with Dillian Whyte, someone you know very well. Dropped Alexander Povetkin twice in the 4th, then Alexander Povetkin with the stunning uppercut in the 5th round. Your thoughts on the fight, Tunde? Absolutely stunning finish.
Dillon knows, and I think Spencer Fearon put it out on social media about an hour after the fight. I've never cried for anybody in the sport of boxing. I didn't even cry when Anthony lost. And that hit me more than anything that's ever happened to me. When Dillon got knocked out, I cried. I was literally sobbing on the floor. Why did I do that? I can only put that down to the fact that there's that connection I have with Dillon. I know how much he's had to overcome. I know how long he's had to wait. And I think that's why my tears are, because I was so disappointed. I was like, no. I was bawling up on the floor. My dad was like, we didn't. What are you crying for? What are you crying? I'm like, no, Dad. No, this is not supposed to happen to Dillon. No. But even now, I'm trying to forget about it. I was so disappointed for him, and but Dillon's a warrior. He'll come back. He'll right the wrong. And it's just boxing. These things happen in the heavyweight division. One lapse of concentration, and it's good night nurse. So it's gone. I don't want to harp on it too much because Dillon's the one, more than anyone, who has to deal with that. But he's a warrior. He's proven that he's willing to fight anyone. And I think that given the right preparation, the right tactics, the next fight should be different.
Final one, Tunde. Product of the Peacock, Daniel Dubois was back in action last week. Late replacement Ricardo Snijders. He did what he had to do. Blitzed him out in 2 rounds. He did move to number 2 in the WBO rankings.
Oh, yeah?
He's one behind Alexander Usyk. That for meaning if Joshua vacates that belt, Dubois, Usyk are in line. Do you think Daniel Dubois is ready for those top guys?
That is serious. That's serious. That's news to me because I'm focused on on Anthony and Bilal and Amin and Raza. Those are my guys. But let me tell you something about Daniel, and more so his father. His father had a pre-thought that Daniel was going to be the youngest ever heavyweight champion. I think we've gone past that now. He's gone past that date. But I think the goal remains the same. They're going to be champs. He's going to be a champ. It's just... I remember listening to Vladimir Klitschko when he was coming up, when he was like 26 years old. And I remember the old school guys, Ronnie Shields, Emmanuel Stewart, they all said Vladimir Klitschko was going to rule the heavyweight division in years to come. And he did for many years. And I think looking at it, Daniel being so young and blasting out guys in the fashion he is, he's going to be a champ. Whether it, see that, Rob? The big man, Robert Warren.
This man here, I told you, didn't I? No one believed me.
No one believe him. This is Rob. He's the man. We met. Oh man, me and Rob listen, it's a journey and a half. But going back to Daniel, you know, I just think that he's so young and causing so bad. And one thing we all need to understand: Daniel is not a guy you're gonna see in a nightclub or out drunk or anything like that. His sister, Prince, the younger brother, and the other little one come up. They're all destined to be champions because that's what they're fighting. And Tyson Fury and his dad always talk about fighting men. The DUBOIS are fighting people as well, men and women. So yeah, all the best to Daniel. I wish him nothing but the best.
Tunde, I've kept you for long enough, but thank you very much for your time as always. I'm sure we'll catch you after the fight. All the best.